Hello class 9th. Hope you all are good. Now today we will start a new chapter that is called digestive system. All of you know we all need food. Why? To get energy, right? And how we get energy by eating food? Actually the food which we eat, it is first digested in the alimentary canal. Then this food is absorbed by the alimentary canal wall of the alimentary canal, and then this digested food is come in the blood. Then through blood it reach to each and every part of the body. This in the same way we breathe in oxygen, and then this oxygen goes to lungs, and from lungs it comes to the blood, and then through blood it reach to each and every part of the body, right? And then this digested food, which is in the form of glucose, it oxidized by the help of oxygen, and then we get energy. So the food which we are eating, actually it is a complex and indiffusible form. So to convert this diffusible, indiffusible and complex food into simple and absorbable form with the help of enzymes takes place in a digestive system. That is what it takes place in an alimentary canal and gut, and we are saying with the help of enzymes which are secreted by these digestive glands. So in this chapter we will study about the alimentary canal and its different parts and how the digestion takes place in these parts, and the digestive glands. Right, now let's start this chapter. Okay, first we will talk about the process of nutrition, and the process of nutrition is completed in 5 steps. Now what are the 5 steps? First, ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Now first step is your ingestion, means taking in of food is called ingestion. Second is your digestion. What is digestion? Digestion is a chemical simplification of food, during which complex and indiffusible form of food is converted into simple and diffusible form with the help of enzymes, and it is called digestion, which takes place in stomach and small intestine. Now third is your absorption. What is absorption? That is your diffusion of digested food through the wall of alimentary canal into the blood is known as absorption. Now next is your assimilation, conversion of digested food into living protoplasm is known as assimilation. Actually after assimilation we get the energy. And the last step is your egestion, means the food which is not digested, that the undigested food is removed from the body, and that is called egestion, right? Now digestive system in the man, all the organs in the body of the man that helps in nutrition collectively constitute the digestive system, and in the man it can be divided into 2 parts. First is your alimentary canal and second is your digestive glands. First we will talk about the which digestive glands are there. First is your salivary gland, second is your liver, third is your pancreas. These are the main 3 glands, and next is your gastric gland is also there, and intestinal gland. Now alimentary canal consists of your mouth, then esophagus, then stomach, small intestine, large intestine and anus. See how the food moves into the alimentary canal. First it goes to mouth, then esophagus, then it comes in the stomach. Okay, then in stomach the partial digestion takes place, and then it come in the small intestine where complete digestion takes place, and then it come to the where that is your large intestine, and then from the large intestine it come to rectum, and then through anus the undigested waste food is removed out in the form of feces. The first part of the alimentary canal is your mouth and buccal cavity. The alimentary canal opens at the upper end as a wide space called mouth. It is bounded by 2 soft movable lips which help in closing the mouth, sucking and sipping fluids, and preventing the loss of food from the buccal cavity during mastication or chewing of food. Now, buccal cavity, it is a large spacious cavity present in the head region, which is bounded on the upper side by the palate, on the lower side by the throat, and the lateral walls formed by the jaws. Most of the floor of buccal cavity is occupied by a large muscular tongue, and the tongue performs the following functions. First, it helps in manipulating the food during mastication, means when you are chewing the food. Helps in swallowing the food. It also helps in making meaningful sounds, helps in cleaning the teeth, and it bears taste buds and helps in tasting the food. All of you know the tongue has main four taste buds are there. For what the front one is for sweet, then salty, sour, and bitter. Now next is your teeth. In the upper as well as the lower jaws are present white, shining, hard structures, what they are called teeth. And in a man there are 4 types of teeth, which their functions are different, so which we have already discussed in previous chapter. Now teeth, they help in chewing and mastication and break down the food into small pieces. This help in swallowing and increase the surface area of food for the action of enzymes. The man. Now here just you can see the mouth, buccal cavity, and your pharynx, esophagus, and salivary glands. Now just see the mouth that is open into buccal cavity, and buccal cavity open into pharynx. Now pharynx actually it is a part of the alimentary canal where food and air cross each other, and the food channel continues as a esophagus, and the air passage continues as larynx and trachea. Trachea is your windpipe. And the opening of larynx, just look at the diagram. It is called what? Glottis. Just look at here, that glottis. And which is guarded by a flap-like structure that is called epiglottis. Okay, now this glottis is closed when we swallow the food. And who closes this glottis? That is your epiglottis. This epiglottis closes this glottis whenever we swallow the food, so that it cannot enter into the larynx and windpipe, right? After pharynx, the food enter into the esophagus. It is a narrow muscular collapsible tube measuring about 25 centimeter in length. It passes through the neck, thorax, and it enters through the diaphragm, takes a sharp bend, and finally opens into the stomach. It helps in the passage of food from buccal cavity to the stomach. And the food pushes downward by the process called peristalsis, which we will discuss later on. Okay, now next is your stomach. The stomach of man is large, J-shaped, highly muscular organ. It is a very thick-walled, highly distensible, bag-like structure, right, which is present in the anterior part of your abdominal cavity and slightly towards the left. The opening of esophagus into the stomach is guarded by a ring-like valve that is called cardiac sphincter. That is, I just see cardia. It prevents backward flow of food. And at the posterior end, the stomach opens into small intestine, and this opening is guarded by a ring-like pyloric sphincter. Just see, look at this pylorus. Now, internal lining of stomach, they contain numerous gastric glands, and the stomach perform the following functions. That is, it store the food for sufficient time, and the muscular wall of stomach help in churning of food. Now, gastric juices help in partial digestion of the food. Now, next is your small intestine. It is the largest part of alimentary canal and measuring about 5 to 6 meter in length. It is a very narrow and highly coiled tube and differentiated into main 3 parts. Just look at your 3 colors. Now, first is your duodenum. What is it? Duodenum. Now, next is your, that's green part is your jejunum, and this reddish part is called what? Ileum. So, this duodenum is Actually, the stomach opens into a small sheet-shaped narrow duodenum, which is measuring about 25 centimeter in length. And the duodenum open the bile duct and pancreatic duct through a common passage that is called what? Bile duct. Right. Next is your jejunum. This green colored part is your jejunum. It is the middle part of the small intestine and measures about 2 meters in length. Now next is your ileum, which is this reddish part. It is a last part of the small intestine which measures about 3 to 3.5 meters in length. The internal lining of jejunum and ileum, they are produced into large number of prominent longitudinal folds, but they are called villi. Villi increase the absorptive surface area of small intestine. In between the villi are present glandular pits having numerous unicellular glands, but they are called intestinal glands, which secrete intestinal juice. And now, what is the main function of small intestine? It actually the competition of digestion of food takes place in this part, and absorption of digested food into blood is also takes place in small intestine. Okay, now next is your large intestine. The ileum enters into a wider tube which is called large intestine that measures about 1.5 meters in length, which is differentiated into 3 main parts, that is called cecum. Next, second is your colon, and third is your rectum. And rectum is about 12 centimeter long, S-shaped tube that opens to outside as anus. And the rectum is main word for accumulation and evacuation of what? Evacuation of fecal matter. Now, first we will talk about the cecum. It is a small, almost rounded blind sac measuring about 6 centimeter in length. From the vacuum arises a blind worm-like structure which is called vermiform appendix, which measures about 3 to 8 centimeter in length. It is actually a vestigial organ. This appendix is your vestigial organ, and inflammation of appendix is called appendicitis. Right? Now next is your colon. Colon is the largest part of large intestine and is sacculated in appearance. The function of colon is absorption of large amount of water and preparation and storage of feces. Right? Now next is your digestive glands. The alimentary canal is associated with certain glands which secrete some enzymes which are help in process of digestion. And their main glands in digestive glands are salivary glands, gastric glands, pancreas, liver and intestinal glands. Now first we will talk about these glands, they help in chemical breakdown of food, right? Because they secrete enzymes. Okay, first see the salivary glands. In the buccal cavity of man opens 3 pairs of salivary glands, and that secretes saliva. Now first is your sublingual gland, which is below the tongue. Sub means below and lingual means tongue. Next is your submandibular gland, which is below the jaw. And third is your parotid gland, which is where it is these are largest salivary gland and one present below and in front of each pinna. Right? Now, and all the 3 pairs of salivary glands, they open into the buccal cavity by the way of ducts. They secrete saliva, and saliva is slightly alkaline fluid which contain water, sauce, mucus and 2 enzymes, that is your salivary amylase and maltase. Okay, now next gland is your liver. It is the largest gland present in the human body. It is deep red or brown colored 2-lobed structure present in the abdominal cavity. It secretes bile juice which is stored in transparent gallbladder. From the gallbladder, the bile is transported to duodenum through the common bile duct, and duodenum is a part of small intestine. Bile is yellowish green colored fluid because of the presence of 2 main pigments, that is called biliverdin and bilirubin. These pigments are produced by the breakdown of hemoglobin of worn out RBCs. Okay, now next gland is your pancreas. It is a pinkish leaf-like triangular much lobed gland present below the stomach. It is embedded into the C-shaped loop of duodenum. It secretes pancreatic juice which is poured into duodenum through common bile duct. It contains enzymes such as amylase, trypsin and lipase that help in the digestion of food. Actually, the liver and pancreas, they just pour their secretion by a common bile duct into the duodenum, right? So this bile duct is a common pathway for pancreas and liver. Okay children, rest of the part of this chapter we will discuss in next video. Thank you children.